Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide divorce, mediation, and valuation services in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we'll discuss business value drivers with John Warilow. He is the founder of the Value Builder System, which is a practice management software for business advisors. And he has a best-selling book called Built to Sell, Creating a Business That Can Thrive Without You. It was recognized by both Fortune and Inc. magazine as one of the best business books and has been translated into 12 languages. He's also written a few more books that we'll talk to you later about. But prior to founding the Value Builder System, he started and exited 4 different companies, including one acquired by a public company. He lives with his family in Toronto, and you can follow him by signing up at builttosell.com. He also has a podcast, and we'll talk more about that as well. An interesting thing that we're seeing a lot of during the pandemic and, while we're still in the pandemic is that I'm seeing a lot of business owners be approached by buyers. So buyers have the money right now. In some respect, it is a little bit of a buyer's market, but in the same respect, it's hard to say, like it is really a seller's market, because a lot of these sellers, if they're making money and they're making more money than they did in the past, like they're just trying to stay afloat, right? They don't have time to talk to buyers. They don't have time to even think about selling their company. Like, let's go get this. So what if a potential buyer comes to you and is like, hey, I'm kind of interested. Are you willing to sell? Like, how does somebody respond to that? And do they just say, yeah, sure, I'd like to sell for $40 million?
Okay, so there's a lot packed into that question. Let's kind of try to unpack it. I think, first of all, if you are proactively wanting to sell, if you're Sean Oshman and you decide that by your 40th birthday you want to go do something else, and you don't want to look desperate, you don't want to go hat in hand to a buyer saying, "Oh, would you buy my business? Would you be interested?" I think the best way to approach that is to say, "Would you like to partner?" I think partner is, in some level, code for, do you want to buy my business? But it at least gives you plausible deniability that was not your intent. When Stephanie Breedlove, the woman I referenced earlier who built the payroll company, approached Care.com, she didn't approach them saying, would you like to buy us? Mm-hmm. She had a marketing partnership first and foremost, just a content sharing agreement at a very low level, a marketing manager level. And then she daisy chained her way from the marketing manager to the director to the CMO to the CEO about deepening their partnership together. And so if you want to get an acquisition conversation started without looking like you're desperate, I think it makes sense to focus on using the word partnership or even strategic partnership as a way to do that. Now, if you get approached, now this is the other side of the coin, you get approached, I think you've got to create some sort of marketplace for your company. Right now, owners are getting approached all the time by private equity groups and strategic acquirers, and if you start that conversation with that acquirer, you are walking down a slippery slope into a trap, and the trap is being suckered into a proprietary deal. A proprietary deal is when an acquirer buys your business without competition. It's like catnip for acquirers. I mean, this is the holy grail, right? If you're an acquirer, you're a private equity group, you're trying to get an owner to engage with you without competition, because competition obviously drives up the price. And when they get you hooked and interested enough, they're going to put a letter of intent in front of you, which is going to put a big number out there, and it's going to be more money than you've ever seen probably in your bank account. And it's going to come with what's the word I'm looking for? Hitch. What's that?
Stop shop.
Yeah, it's going to come with I was trying to think of a word. It's going to come with a no shop clause, and a no shop clause means that you agree not to negotiate with any other acquirers. And once you sign that, your negotiating leverage diminishes dramatically. In fact, the balance of power in the relationship goes from you having all the power as the seller with the profitable and desirable business to them. They will protract due diligence. They'll pick apart your business. They'll send a bunch of analysts to try to discover everything that's wrong with your business. And days before they close the deal, it's very common for them to retrade, which is to lower the price that they originally agreed to sell or buy you for in the letter of intent. And at that retrading stage, you're then stuck between a rock and a hard place. You've given up the ability to negotiate with anybody else. You've told your spouse, you've bought the ski house in your mind or the car or the, whatever, and you've lost all negotiating leverage in the process. And so they know that. The acquirers are sophisticated and they know they've got you over a barrel. And so most people agree to be rate traded on. They drop 10, 15, 20% off the value of their company. And it's just a common mistake that we make. It's like an unforced error. And it happens so innocently. It happens when an acquirer approaches you and say, wow, Melissa, you built this great business. Can we grab lunch? I'd love to learn more about what you do. And I'd love to partner with you. And I'd love to see if we could buy you. And if you get too far into that conversation without creating competitive tension, you run the risk of being suckered into a proprietary deal.